The medieval trial by ordeal operated on a simple yet unsettling premise. God would protect the innocent from harm or would reveal the guilt of the condemned. It was a system that blended religious faith with a rudimentary search for justice. Since literacy rates were low and trust in written law or testimonies could be shaky, the supernatural was seen as final, impartial judge. After all, who could argue with divine intervention? There were several types of ordeals. One of the most famous was the ordeal by hot iron. The accused would carry or walk over a heated metal rod, or blows were. Their hands or feet were then wrapped and checked a few days later. If the wounds miraculously healed, it was considered proof of innocence. Similarly, there was the ordeal by boiling water, where the accused had to retrieve a stone from cauldron of bubbling water. Burns were inspected to determine the guilt or innocence. Less common but equally brutal was the ordeal by cold water, often used in witchcraft trials. The accused was tied up and thrown into a body of water. It was believed that pure water would reject evil, so if they floated, they might be declared guilty. If they sank, well, they could be innocent, but drowning posed its own lethal risk. Survival in these trials was far from guaranteed. While it may seem barbaric, trial by ordeal was not purely about random cruelty. In many communities, the ritual was accompanied by fasting, prayers, and solemn oaths. The church played a role by blessing the water or iron, lending spiritual authority to the process. It was a way of invoking the divine in a world where secular legal systems were weak and corruption could run rampant. If you lived in an era where forging documents or bribing witnesses was common, divine judgment might have felt like a fair bet, even if it was terrifying. However, over time the church began to question the morality of placing God to the test in such explicit ways. In the early 13th century, Pope Innocent III and subsequent popes discouraged these practices. With the Fourth Lateran Council in 1215, clerical participation in trials by ordeal was effectively banned. Gradually, as more standardized legal procedures took hold in Europe, like juries and codified laws, ordeal-based trials faded away.